As you know, last time I announced my intention to take an inaugural journey into the cinema immersion tank.
And you've come out the other side.
That's right, I watched Bottle Rocket for 5 days in a row. Too many revelations to share with you here on the show, but let's just say that I thoroughly enjoyed it and I never got sick of the movie.
Really? If that was in this envelope, you'd be like, oh good, Bottle Rocket again.
No, I would say you were supposed to pick a sci-fi movie, dummy. It made me very happy to watch this for those 5 days. In fact, it made me want to sing.
Yeah?
Hey there, Bob, you got a beautiful house.
Every movie should have an actor sing, because it just brings everything alive.
Even if he only sings for 4 seconds.
Mm-hmm. Think of in Jerry Maguire. There's a scene where Tom Cruise...
Free falling.
Yeah, is like playing around with the radio and trying to find a song he can sing with. It's the most natural I've ever seen Tom Cruise.
I think the thing that I realize most is how much you miss when you watch a movie. Especially when you watch it at home.
Mm-hmm.
Any distraction, even anything in the movie that triggers a memory of something else, your brain automatically starts thinking about that thing and then it doesn't see what's going on here. But when you watch a movie for 5 nights in a row, you don't miss anything. And so I feel like I've experienced this movie more deeply than any movie I've seen. Dignan thinks Bob feels Anthony is. So in the Tao of Pooh parlance... that would make Dignan Rabbit, Bob Eeyore, and Anthony Pooh. That's the biggest revelation I've had watching this movie 5 goddamn nights in a row.
The Tao of Bottle Rocket.
I've got a bunch of movies that I've never seen before. You don't know what they are. Every episode I'm going to spring one on you. It might be good, it might be bad. We'll watch it and talk about it. Welcome to the basement.
Welcome back to Sci-Fi July, here in the basement. On our last episode, I sacrificed 90 minutes of my life watching Mac and Me, just so I could seize the opportunity to choose the movie to watch for tonight's show. The only stipulation being that the movie be a sci-fi movie that I've never seen before. I saw a comment on our Facebook page by fan Steve Manzo, asking if we had seen a certain movie. I hadn't. It's time for me to stop slacking off and finally see this thing. I am going to take you to the once distant future of 2019 and the far-off land of Tokyo, or rather, Neo-Tokyo, as we watch the classic Japanese anime film, Akira!
Akira!
Have you seen it?
55 episodes we've done. Finally, I will be watching a movie that I've seen.
This will be very interesting.
You've ruined the premise of our show.
It's about the seat, man.
I saw this movie a long time ago. The only thing I could tell you about it is Akira! Because that's all I remember. Well, there's a big blob.
Released in 1988, the same year as Mac and Me. Yes. Akira was a directorial debut of Katsuhiro Otomo, who adapted his own 2,100-page manga comic book. Phelim O'Neill, a critic for the UK's Guardian newspaper, cites this as an equal to Blade Runner and 2001: A Space Odyssey for being one of the most influential sci-fi movies ever.
Wow.
The good citizens of Hollywood, California, of course, have been tossing around the idea of remaking this movie, starring any number of famous Asian actors such as Leonardo DiCaprio, Keira Knightley, Gary Oldman, and Morgan Freeman. Thankfully, America's version has been caught in development hell.
Oh, yeah.
This is the reason why movie gods made development hell.
I'm eager to go back into it and try again.
I don't know much about this movie other than the fact that they drive a certain mode of transportation, so Matt, here's your gift.
It has Batman in it?
That's Batman? I thought that was Akira. He's on a motorcycle. I couldn't find an Akira on a motorcycle on a short basis. What? That's right. Put the gift horse back in the box.
Done.
So, Matt, it's time to wrap your legs around those velvet rims and strap your hands across the engine of the big leather couch as we watch Akira!
That's all! They say that, too.
Stop giving it away. In 1988, a huge explosion destroyed Tokyo. Reagan. But it's 31 years later, and everything's built back up. Even more Tokyo-like than it was before.
Kaneda and Tetsuo are young punks. They like to steal bikes and drive around and attack other bikers, like the Clown Gang.
I saw a Batman.
I don't believe you. While all this is happening, a man staggers through the street with a young, ugly little blue boy in his charge.
Bacon, bacon, bacon!
Where's that bacon? Purina dog. Ow. They end up killing the guy, and this little blue boy seems to have supernatural powers. Kaneda and Tetsuo are driving their souped-up bikes all around. Tetsuo! There he goes. Knocking other guys off their bikes. But this little blue boy comes across the path of Tetsuo and causes him to crash. A big ship comes out of the sky. Another little ugly blue boy comes out. He's floating in a little chair.
We're here to take you back with us.
It's me, I'm your little soul buddy. Also on the ship is Colonel Shakashima. Hello, I'm obviously evil. Enormous head, tiny little haircut. He seems to be the man in charge. They also take the injured Tetsuo. Dr. Onishi does experiments on Tetsuo, and he finds strange patterns in his brain.
It turns out that Tetsuo is crazy psychic.
This boy's pattern is the key to solving the riddle of Akira's growth pattern process.
Whatever that means.
He escapes. He goes back to his old school and finds his old girlfriend, Gaudi.
Gaudi.
What the?
Gaudi. Build an idiosyncratic cathedral for me, Gaudi. Hey, I'm gonna steal Kaneda's bike and let's get out of here.
This whole thing happened just because you took my bike for a spin.
Up! Don't order me around!
There is no more intense anger than anime anger.
As quick as Tetsuo is saved, he's recaptured by the military police and he's sent back to the facility.
Turns out the little blue boy is number 26. He's an experimental subject of this organization, and there are others like him.
So many will die.
When will it happen?
Minority Report babies.
You mustn't let that boy go. His power,
Oh, his power. It gives me the vapors. The reason why number 26, Takashi, was taken out of the facility in the first place is because he was kidnapped by a revolutionary organization who wants to overthrow the government. Oh no, they blew up the used panty vending machines!
Kaneda gets arrested.
Another bunch of other biker hooligans called the Clowns attacked you.
These bozos couldn't have anything to do with it.
Yeah, bozos would never attack a gang called the Clowns.
That's right. They'd be in the gang called the Clowns.
Send in the next 5.
Send in the next gang, the Emmett Kellys. And he meets Kay, and she ends up shooting a police officer and killing him.
And Kaneda's like, hey, I'm gonna go follow you because you're really cute.
And he finds out that she's part of this revolutionary organization. So Kaneda joins with them, and they infiltrate the facility where Tetsuo is being held. Meanwhile, Tetsuo is in his room, and he's having some strange visions. Little bears and bunnies are walking around, and suddenly they're big bears and big bunnies. And this is how the teddy bears fuel your nightmares. These giant hallucinatory animals were caused by these little blue brats.
The cadaver triplets. It says here, all your base are belong to us. That doesn't make any sense at all. He escapes out into the facility.
Hey, you! You are not allowed to leave your room!
So I guess, let him leave his room.
Yeah.
Colonel Shikishima, meanwhile, goes down below the earth into a chilled bunker where Akira is being kept.
Scientists are a bunch of romantics. Military men, on the other hand, always consider the risks first.
And we never have girlfriends.
Nope.
We still don't know what Akira is or what Akira is capable of, but it's something that everyone speaks about in hushed tones.
Tetsuo is out of his cell, and he's knocking guards off, left and right, just so he can get to the big room. That is a room. But is it the room?
Oh, hi, Tetsuo. You suddenly made a mess back there.
And this is where the 3 cadaver triplets live. H.P. Lovecraft's nursery. We're gonna have a psychic battle.
All of you, that is enough!
You've all got time out.
Where is he? Where's this Akira?
If you awaken Akira like that, when that happens, no one will be able to stop him at all.
Where in the hell's the friggin' baby room?
Kaneda and Kay show up.
Was not expecting a tree here in the middle of the building. Sorry, I'd say it's my fault, but really, a tree?
You okay? I'm here for the rescue. Hurry up! What are you, stupid?
Thanks, but no thanks. I'm on my own now. I'm tired of you being the boss of me.
Tetsuo escapes the facility. He goes back to the bar where he and Kaneda used to hang out, and he's like, "Give me some pills, man." And the bartender's like, "I don't know if you can handle it. You look pretty twitchy." That bartender ends up dying. The old gang shows up. They find Tetsuo there. Tetsuo's like, "Muhaha, muhaha, muhaha." He kills one of the kids. Tetsuo!
Tetsuo is tearing Tokyo apart. He decides it's time to free Akira.
Oh, he's going into the freezer. He's going to open up that freezer door. Meatloaf is going to come out.
He tears the Olympic Stadium a new one and raises up the cell out of the ground.
Come on, let's bring out Akira. Bring him out.
Open now!
Yeah. Akira is going to come out and play. Akira, come out and play, yay! He cracks it open and there's just a bunch of tubes in there.
What the hell is this?
Coors Light? Ugh.
There is your Messiah.
That's all that's left of Akira.
He's dead. All this was for nothing.
Are you satisfied now, Tetsuo?
I'll take that as a yes.
Like hell!
Oh, you sure put one over on me. Kaneda gets his old bike and he's gonna have a showdown. He goes to the thing with his laser beam gun.
Kaneda!
That's Mr. Kaneda to you, punk!
Do it!
Let's fall in love!
Where's this light coming from?
Oh, wait a minute, I totally forgot that there was a spy satellite.
And it shoots a laser beam down at Tetsuo.
Were we on target?
Hard to tell, too close to the impact point.
Damn you, Clint Howard. You're useless.
This light comes out of the sky.
Cuts his arm off. That's okay. Tetsuo makes himself a new arm out of a bunch of junk.
We still haven't finished making our adjustments. Please!
Calypso!
The pattern!
Come down to the islands!
There's probably whole characters I'm forgetting about. Oh, I didn't. Gaudi. I haven't said anything about Gaudi. Gaudi's a little girl.
Tetsuo?
And she's like, "Hey, what's going on with you? You're acting strange." Tentacle porn!
Oh, he ate mochi. Always does it. This is the blob I remember.
Ah.
Tetsuo turns into this giant blob.
Kaneda, help!
Then the little kids show up and they're like, "We can stop this." Here comes this loser. He's absorbing everything. He absorbs Gaudi. He absorbs Kaneda.
Help me!
Stop this, Tetsuo!
I'm in your gonads!
Tetsuo!
Kaneda!
Tetsuo, Kaneda, etc., etc.
The doctor, he realizes something crazy is going on. He's reading the charts.
It's showing that this is the birth of the universe.
You just know what the birth of the universe looks like?
The paper told him.
Yeah. He absorbs the 3 psychic twins, and he absorbs the Akira parts.
The 3 kids call forth Akira from wherever.
Akira.
That's me!
And he eventually goes nuclear.
Oh, I knew we wouldn't get through this movie without that whole city getting destroyed.
Again. Tetsuo Akira Flash compresses into one, and it becomes a tiny little universe.
He just left. Those kids did too.
I am Tetsuo.
And I know what's happening.
I am Tetsuo, and I can do anything. I enjoyed that movie. Let's check in with Ernesto. Ernesto! There ought to be a future we can choose. It's up to us to find it. You know, when I saw this movie back when I was 17, I thought that blob section, I thought that was like an hour of the movie. It only happened for like 10 minutes. Just shows you how memory works and how inaccurate it is.
Tetsuo goes bad. Is it all just because Canada was treating him kind of mean?
Well, I think it's also power corrupts.
Yeah. It's basically a superhero story, but the superhero chooses to go the other way. He goes so far as to even get a cape, and it's like, check it out, I'm Superman. boom, you're dead.
But in the end, is he redeemed? It seems as though Akira and these three ugly kids take him to another realm where he seems to find some peace.
They go off to become gods of a new world, just like Dr. Manhattan
Dr.
does
Manhattan
and Watchmen.
Right, right.
They'll become the pantheon of some other dimension.
When you think of apocalypse scenarios, they're often scenarios of unstoppable attrition. You've got plague, famine, zombies, things like that. But then there's the apocalypse scenario of unstoppable energy. Nuclear war, Kurt Vonnegut's Ice 9, something that once it's released, it can't be stopped. And so I think this story is one of those apocalypse scenarios. Tetsuo, when left unchecked, will destroy the world.
What the hell is this Akira thing?
What is Akira?
Akira's ultimate energy.
Pure energy. Boom, 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 boom. Pure energy. He was a kid like the other three, like Tetsuo. He became too powerful. He caused the destruction of Neo Tokyo.
How did they bring him back to life?
I think it's just like they've kind of made... They didn't necessarily... God, I have no idea.
Yeah, I know.
He was like just kind of chopped up and made into kind of a neural computer that they might be able to assemble someday if they can ever understand him. They say it's one of the great influential sci-fi movies, but I think the main influence is that it basically invented the Wachowskis. It's like this is the beginning of The Matrix and the future parts of Cloud Atlas.
A lot of it also reminds me of Blade Runner, which came before.
Mm-hmm. I don't think it's a coincidence that this movie takes place in the exact same year as Blade Runner.
Oh,
it's 2019.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
It was nice seeing some old-fashioned cell animation.
All of it is animated. There's
Yeah.
no CGI in the entire thing. Think about how much work that would have taken.
The visual details are so vast.
Mm-hmm.
Even if your brain isn't comprehending it, your brain is so turned on by it that you can't help but be absorbed into it.
Yeah.
Like Tetsuo the Blob who absorbed his friends.
The opening shot of the movie, slow tracking shot over old Tokyo, and then it blows up. And it almost seems as though this movie is blowing up the old idea of what Japanese animation should be.
In anime, everything is external. All reactions. If someone is confused, you hear it and you see it. And it's bigger than anyone in life would react. I wonder if that's merely cultural. Do they feel like animation doesn't convey that? It can't convey the subtleties of human emotion. You have to hear it and see it really clearly. I don't know. What else do I remember seeing this as a young man?
You didn't get it then? You didn't get it now.
I got it a little more now.
Good. That's good to know.
I'm growing as a person, but not growing as an Akira.
Yeah.
You should check it out. Maybe give it multiple viewings.
Maybe do the 5-day movie challenge.
If you really want to go balls out with Akira, watch it for 5 days in a row.
If you want to get fully absorbed in something, you should go to our website, which is welcometothebasementshow.com. There we have every single show we've ever done. We have a few essays that I've written, and there you can find our PayPal button, which is a great way to make a donation towards the show so we can keep up the quality work here.
There are some good people who've done just that, folks, and here are their names. Jan, who says, "Greetings from Norway, best regards." Tak, Jan. Matthew, who says, "This and beer and board games are the only reason I go on to YouTube. Keep on keeping on, and that's in order." Sarah, who says, "I recently introduced my mom to Welcome to the Basement, and now she's absolutely hooked. By the way, Craig, she says you have beautiful eyes."
Thank you. Thank you.
Paul, who says, "We watch every episode. Your fans, Paul, Fetish Kimmy, and Edgar the Teddy Bear. Keep it up, guys."
I know a lot about you now.
Andrea, Mike, and Michael, who says, "Looking forward to Sci-Fi July." This is the end of Sci-Fi July. Hope you enjoyed it. We're going to do Sci-Fi July again next July, so you can look forward to that.
And now it's time. How do I do the voice? All right. And Matt, now it's time for Seen It. Seen It's the part of the show where we read comments left by you asking us if we've seen certain movies, and we tell you that, in fact, we have seen them.
Craig and I recently took our summer vacations, but do you think we were just out there relaxing and doing nothing? No way! We were out there talking about movies, so we could bring you Seen It on location.
We go from around 10 feet above sea level to over 11,000 feet above sea level in the next 3 minutes. Enjoy.
Take it away, me! Sam Kerr writes, You guys should watch Fight Club if you haven't already. The first rule about talking about seeing Fight Club is not talking about seeing Fight Club. That joke is overdone. Seen it.
Seen it. Of course I've seen it. I am man my age, so I've seen Fight Club.
I saw this movie in the cheap seats at the theater, and the print of the film, back then we still watched film on prints, it was so chewed up that when it gets to the big reveal in the movie, I won't give it away in case someone hasn't seen it, the film was all messed up. And so it kind of ruined the moment for me. I liked the movie better than the book.
Okay.
Let's see what Craig has to say.
Fight Club ruined my life. Because I watched that movie, I had my car towed, it was impounded while I was watching the movie, and I had to move out of Minneapolis. It's a long and complex story.
Yep.
Monsieur Bodie writes, I'm going to recommend Last Night by Canadian filmmaker Don McKellar. It's beautiful and strange and unexpected. Seen it, love it. Don McKellar is one of my favorite filmmakers.
Last Night was basically remade as the American film Seeking a Friend for the End of the World.
Yes.
But Last Night is much weirder and a lot more Canadian.
It's a different take on what the end of the world might be like, particularly if you're helpless to stop it.
Ahmed Noorapur writes, you should watch Tim Burton's 9. It's a very meaningful story set in a post-apocalyptic world. All the characters are very colorful and the scenery is eye-popping. Seen it.
Have not seen it. I was meaning to watch it right before coming out on the trip.
Actually, Tim Burton produced this film. The director was Shane Acker.
And I got distracted by, nature's majesty.
I think it started out as a student film and then it developed into a feature film.
Now, this is the cartoon 9, right? Not the... Sorry, a horse is over there dancing around.
It's a good movie for adults, but I think it's also a great movie for kids.
What?
There's actual peril in it. I think a lot of kids' movies nowadays don't have enough peril, like the peril you might feel on a boat.
C. Mark Pacitti, or Mark Pacitti, writes The Third Man, 1949. I reckon this is the closest we'll get to a flawless Graham Greene adaptation on screen. The plot is genuinely difficult to predict, and the characters are portrayed with such finesse that they steer clear of the same old tropes. Seen it!
I know how much Craig loves this movie, so I'm just going to let him go.
The Third Man is one of my favorite movies, and it's one of the rare movies out there that might actually qualify as being the greatest movie of all time.
Go on, talk about it more. You know you want to.
I've seen it 3 or 4 times, and it keeps surprising me.
I have only one thing to say about this movie, and that's cuckoo clock. That's right, cuckoo clock.
It's also one of the best movies ever about being a tourist.
Good point, Craig. Mr. Bad 33 writes, Simon of the Desert. Seen it? Surreal, social, religious commentary, and only 45 minutes long. Seen it.
Seen it.
Jesus H. Christ on a pillar. That's kind of what happens in the movie.
That's kind of a stretch.
It is about a Sisyphean martyr who tries to resist temptation and serve God.
It's based on a true story. There was actually a saint who was living for years on top of a pillar in the desert.
Yeah.
In Syria or Lebanon.
Yeah.
Back like 15 or 1700 years ago.
Hurry up, Craig. It's cold out here. Come on.
The odd thing about this movie is that the band, the New Pornographers, made a remake of it as a rock video.
Ah.
So if you don't have 45 minutes to watch it, check out the 4-minute long video for The Laws Have Changed.
I like that little motorized coffin that Satan drives around. That's kind of fun.
That's Seen It?
And that's our show.
Come back in 2 weeks and you can see Matt sitting back here in the big chair.
Thank God.
We'll be watching some other movie and trying to make sense of it all. Arigato and sayonara.
Uh-huh.
Maybe we could save that boy.
You're right. Us 3 together.
Us 3. Doom 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 funky funky.
Sip pip quitty quitty.
That's all you remember of Cantaloupe.